welcome everybody to another episode of Just Talking to You. I'm your host, Big Smooth, and I am not here alone. I'm here with the crew and some guests today. Say what's up, crew, and our guests.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
All right, guys, I'm gonna swing from my right to my left, introducing everybody. Starting off with our own Miss Toya. Introduce yourself, Miss Toya.
Hi, everybody. It's your girl, Miss Toya.
Okay, we're gonna swing it over to my girl to my left, Dre Day. Introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. Welcome for coming. It's your girl Dre Day, and sugar does go on grits.
Get your No, they don't.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
All right, we're gonna introduce to you a couple of guests tonight. Our first guest, Dr. Moby the Explorer. Introduce yourself to our fans and drop your hashtag, Miss Moby the Explorer.
Hello, everyone. I am Moby the Explorer on YouTube. I'm Dr. Moby the Explorer on Instagram. I'm excited about this conversation. I'm super excited.
All right, Dr. Moby, thank you. Our next guest is Miss Donyell. Miss Donyell, introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Donyell. I have a podcast called Love Always Wins. You can find me at the handle eyedonyell, EYEDONYELL.
All right. Thank you for joining us, Miss Donyell. Okay, we're going to swing it down to my boy, Mr. Anonymous Nobody. Introduce yourself.
What is up, Big Smooth? Thank you for having me into your arena this evening. I am Mr. Anonymous Nobody. That is an acronym for MAN, M-A-N. My YouTube channel can be found by searching for Mr. Anonymous Nobody. Find the logo, find the channel, enjoy the content.
All right, man. Thank you for joining, my brother. And last but not least, we're going to swing it on over to my man, Christorian. Christorian, introduce yourself, man.
Hey, everybody. It's your man, Christorian, at Christorian Twitter, at Christorian1 Instagram. It's everybody's mama's favorite. I'm the reason why she get up in the morning and she make you leave early. I'm just letting you know.
Serious? You don't have one of these?
What?
You don't have a code switch?
No. How does a code switch work?
Well, it's a little tricky, but let me break it down for you.
The topic of our conversation of this evening is code switching. And a lot of you guys may not have heard the term, but a lot of you guys may be familiar with the term of code switching. It's just modifying your speech to adapt to social cultural norms, or just changing the narrative of your behavior to fitting into an environment or something. So I'm gonna swing it off with Miss Moni B the Explorer. What's your take on code switching?
You know, I feel like David Chappelle. Black people have had to code switch all of our lives, right? He made a joke and he talked about how we are bilingual. African Americans have had to be bilingual. We all are. We have a street vernacular as well as a job interview vernacular. So yeah. I think that code switching is something that we do and have done. If you're in corporate America or any job, you have to learn the code switch. But I think my concern with code switching is I have some issues with it at times because I think that it does not allow you all the time to be your authentic self. It does not always allow us to show up in a space and be who we fully are because we're busy trying to fit into that cultural norm of whatever environment we're in. So that's kind of my take on code switching.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. What about you, Mr. Anonymous Nobody?
I would agree. We are actors every time we leave the house. Whatever situation you may come in or who you may be around, you find yourself adjusting your vernacular or your tone based on that audience, especially in corporate America. I call us hybrids. I call myself a hybrid. If you are educated, so more so, say not in the city, let's say you went to school in a county, but you live in the city, your speech pattern changes multiple times a day. And after a while, it blends and you don't even realize you're doing it because it becomes innate at that point. But absolutely, we are the best actors in the world because we act every time we leave the house.
Absolutely.
I like that.
Absolutely.
Man. We are very good actors, man. What about you, Miss Donyell?
I agree with both of them. Me personally, I've had to grow up in many different spaces, dealing with, all types of races. I don't like to use the term, but I'm use the terms because, we're on a mass platform, but just white and black and being the only black in classes. And my mom taught me to act white. Like she wanted me, I had to straighten my hair when she wanted me to get jobs, and I had to wear certain things. And then now that I'm an adult, and now that I have learned and kind of tapped into myself, I don't care.
Yeah.
For me, especially with corporate, I've learned how to speak the language because that's how they operate. That's what they need. That's what they have to do. So I'll speak, but you will hear me and you will feel me.
Wow. Hey, that is very good. I like that. Dre Day, what about you?
I think now it's more about knowing who your audience is, and you have to speak to certain people in different ways. And so we code switch more than just Black world to white world. We switch on different aspects of our personality to meet somebody else where they are. Up through about 10th grade, I went to majority white schools. I never felt like I didn't fit in, you know. And then when I went to a Black school, I didn't feel like I fit in. I was the oddball. And it was always brought up, well, you talk like this, and you do this and you listen to this kind of music, you're weird. Being older, of course, even when I'm in a corporate situation and I fall back into those speech patterns that are more acceptable in corporate spaces, that's actually falling back into the original person.
So you switch backwards, basically, huh?
Right. I understand it. I just see it. I think I see it differently. I don't, just 2021, we're not looking for acceptance anymore, but we know who our audience is.
Okay. I like that. Knowing your audience and everything. Good job. What about you, Miss Toya?
I definitely agree with Dre. Dealing with certain audience, it definitely helps with how you approach things and how you handle conversations, because you could be with your friends and your family and you can still talk in a normal manner. But when you're at work, you still have to be professional. But to an extent, me personally, I sit in a room with maybe 12 white people and 2 Black girls, and my personality is still the same because I carry myself the same way every day. I went from an all Black school to an all white school. So me personally, I don't really switch up. I get criticism from my Black family. Oh, you act like a white girl. You listen to country music. You do this, you do that. And even with my Black friends, oh, you hang with white girls. You probably not going to want to go to a hood bar with us because you don't do this. It's just my personality. I definitely switch up a lot, especially dealing with going to my son's school. You get a lot of criticism as being the Black parent. So I do switch up from time to time, but I'm always the same because that's just me. That's just how I've been raised.
Thanks, Miss Toya. What about you, Chris Dorian?
As being someone that prides themselves on always being who they are, and I won't equate professionalism in code switching to home life to being acting Black or acting white. I won't do it. The way that I talk is the way that I always speak. But if I go into the job, I want to sound like a professional Black man. I don't want to sound like Kyle from Living Single, and he had the movie where he turned, like, as he was getting more
when he turned into the white guy and everything.
Started turning into the white man. That shouldn't be you, to where you lose yourself because you feel that you have to fit into this other society. The code switching thing bothers me, and I know Black people have to do this.
Okay.
And I think when you think about code switching in its original form, so that's a word that was actually coined in around 1954. So that word originally was about multilingual people who were able to speak multiple languages and do it fluently depending on where they were. So I think we kind of transferred the meaning of what that word is as it relates to people of color. So mostly when you're thinking about, when I think about code switching, I think about the formal as well as the informal syntax. And and we all do that. I can speak with my friends in an informal manner, and that doesn't change me. But I know when I'm in front doing presentations to administrators, I can't speak all the time in informal language. So that's what it means by code switching. So a lot of times it has, and so there are two different meanings of it. So when I think about it, I think I want to know what version are we talking about? Are we talking about from a linguistic standpoint?
The statement I hate to hear any Black person say is, people always mistake me for sounding like I'm white. I hate that
I
sentence,
get that all
and
the
I
time.
want to string you up upside down whenever someone says it. Because if you're doing that, then you're doing it on purpose, because you don't sound like a genetic European person. You do not. Keep your voice.
It's the corresponding action that goes along with the language switch. So not only do you change your cadence as far as language, your actions and behaviors change. And that's where I have a problem. It's like you just start doing some cornball stuff, and it's like, especially if it's somebody you know you grew up with, like, come on, be for real.
Right.
Like,
Now you got a lot of people that may misconstrue code switching for playing the game. Because, you know, when we get out here in corporate America, you got a lot of people say, hey, you got to play the game.
And that's very true. But like I said, when you go home, that's when you be yourself. Like I said, when you leave the house, you're acting. So let's say you live in the hood, you know,
right?
Once you go out to the nicer neighborhoods, you're probably going to turn your music down. You know, you're probably going to pull your pants up. There's certain things that you just probably wouldn't do. It's not necessarily that you're code switching. You just, okay, I'm in a different environment that's probably not tolerated out here, so let me adjust.
Adjusting to that environment.
So code switching and actions are two different components.
Yeah.
It sounds like it kind of ties into also, because I think I kind of got triggered by this, by what Ms. Toya said. It also seems like it's levels, because now it's more about stereotypes at times, right? So you're fitting in here, you're going here, you're hanging out with people here. Oh, you're in politics now. Okay, well, oh, you're in music now. Oh, you hang out at the club now. So it's even now just dealing with stereotypes. And if there is one person that can't stand stereotypes, it's me. I don't put a title on. I'm not anything. My name is Donyell. And wherever I am, just like Chris Sorian, like wherever I am, whatever I'm doing, whoever I'm with, that's what we're doing versus, you know. So I think it does tie into stereotypes now.
With that, because I look at it like this. When I go in, it's the way I conduct myself at work, and it's the way I conduct myself at home. I'm professional at work. I talk professional. I talk like I'm educated, a man with an MBA and a master's. Now, if I go up like with my uncle or my cousins and amongst my brother and everything, my dialogue may change some. And prime example, I mean, I was talking with them. We was just laughing and joking. And then I had to take a professional call. And then I was like, and I talk professional and everything. And the first thing they say, man, you can turn it on and off. And I look at it like this. I look at it as by you're not being Uncle Tom or a sellout, or some people may say you cooning and everything. You don't change who you are, man. I mean, you just switch up and adapt to the environment. You got to be like a chameleon. I mean, you got to adapt to the environment. If you're in the room with presidents and CEOs, you're not going to dress like, you're going to dress to par. You go come in and you go have your A game. You're going to be able to talk and agree and talk. That's how you do it. Yeah. But you're not going to just change up like that.
I've heard you before. And there's a difference between having a professional vernacular and cooning. There's a huge difference. Code switching and cooning is something that I'm vehemently against.
Yes.
You being able to just, use professional terms. Of course, you're not going to say, man, get your ass out the break room. Or, you're not going to say that at work.
Absolutely.
We need to hear up this motherfucking meeting.
Right.
You're not saying that at your job, like just normal professional speech.
No.
What you do is actually, you don't change your vernacular. You always sound like you is what I'm saying.
Thank you.
If you change up who you are because you want to fit in, is a big difference. You sound like you just sound like a more professional you.
Right. I appreciate that, man. But with that being said, guys, we really had a great episode tonight, man, of just with our guests, man. We chopped it up. If you are interested, you have a comment about code switching, you can just drop it down in our comments. We're going to have our special guests. We're going to have their links in our comments as well. Hey, guys, thank you for tuning in tonight, man. We really appreciate it. We the crew. And we out.
I don't